It all started when the Harris family moved into a new house in the picturesque town of Riverdale. They wanted to leave their old life behind and start afresh. The family consisted of Jennifer, a kind-hearted woman who worked as a nurse, her husband Mark, a dedicated lawyer, and their two children, Jake and Emma, aged 11 and 8 respectively. Not long after they had settled in, the family decided to adopt a pet. They visited the local animal shelter, hoping to find a companion that would complete their new life. Among the many animals in the shelter, they were drawn to a peculiar-looking creature. It was a rare breed called a neblung, resembling a cross between a cat and a large rabbit, covered in soft gray fur. Its eyes were a piercing bright blue that seemed to bore into your soul. The shelter staff told them the neblung was rescued from an abandoned laboratory, and not much was known about its past. They named their new pet Misty and welcomed her into their home. Initially, the family was captivated by the enigmatic creature. Misty was calm, seemingly intelligent, and had a magnetic presence. However, as days turned into weeks, the family started noticing unsettling things about their new pet. Misty would often sit still and stare into the distance, as if she could see something the family couldn't. At night, she would roam the house, letting out eerie cries that sent shivers down their spines. The Harrises would often wake up to find objects misplaced, and sometimes things would inexplicably crash or break. Determined to find out what was causing the disturbances, Mark set up surveillance cameras around the house. The footage showed Misty behaving strangely, as if she was communicating with an unseen entity. Her eyes would glow with an otherworldly light, and the air around her seemed to crackle with energy. The family sought advice from a renowned paranormal investigator, Dr. Collins, who specialized in unexplained phenomena. After analyzing the footage and conducting a thorough investigation, Dr. Collins revealed a chilling truth. Misty was not an ordinary pet. She had been genetically engineered in the laboratory she was rescued from, and her DNA had been spliced with a supernatural entity. This entity had attached itself to Misty and was feeding off the family's fear. As days went by, the malevolent presence grew stronger. Unexplained occurrences escalated, leaving the family in a constant state of terror. Doors slammed, shadows loomed, and whispers echoed through the house. The family's once happy and peaceful life had become a living nightmare. Misty's behavior changed as well. She grew increasingly aggressive and unpredictable. Her once enchanting eyes now bore a sinister glow, and she would often hiss and snarl at the family. It was clear that the entity had taken control of her. Desperate to save their family, Jennifer and Mark reached out to a team of experts in supernatural phenomena. The team, led by a skilled medium named Eliza, agreed to help them perform a ritual to cleanse their home and sever the connection between Misty and the malevolent entity. On the night of the ritual, the house was engulfed in darkness. The air was heavy with tension as the family and the team of experts gathered in the living room. Eliza began chanting in an ancient language, and the others followed suit. As they chanted, the temperature in the room plummeted, and an oppressive feeling settled in. Suddenly, Misty appeared in the doorway, her eyes blazing with an unholy light. The entity had sensed the ritual and was fighting back. Eliza and her team increased the intensity of their chanting, while the family clung to each other, terrified. As the ritual reached its climax, the house shook violently, and the air was charged with electricity. The entity let out a blood-curdling scream that seemed to pierce the very fabric of reality. With one final surge of energy, Eliza expelled the malevolent presence from Misty and banished it from the Harris home. In the aftermath, the family found themselves in a house that was once again filled with warmth and light. Misty, now freed from the entity's control, returned to her calm and gentle demeanor. The family felt an overwhelming sense of relief and gratitude for Eliza and her team, who had risked their lives to save them from the supernatural menace. As the days turned into weeks, life gradually returned to normal for the Harris family. They grew closer than ever, having faced unimaginable terror together. Misty, now a beloved part of the family, never again displayed any signs of her terrifying past.
The experience taught the Harris family to cherish their time together and to never take their peaceful life for granted. They had stared into the abyss of darkness and emerged stronger than ever, united by love and the unbreakable bond of family.
The quiet town of Havenwood was known for its sense of community and safety. It was the perfect place for the Morrison family to start anew after a difficult year. The family consisted of Linda, a compassionate and hard-working woman, her husband Peter, a talented architect, and their 2 children, Lila and Tom, aged 12 and 9 respectively. After settling into their new home, the Morrisons decided to adopt a pet to help them adjust to their new surroundings. They visited Havenwood's local animal shelter, where they found a unique creature that instantly caught their attention. It was a small, dog-like creature, covered in dark fur with patches of vibrant colors scattered throughout. The shelter staff informed them that the creature had been found near a closed-down research facility and was likely the result of genetic experimentation. Intrigued and sympathetic, the Morrisons decided to adopt the creature and named it Chimera. At first, Chimera seemed like a loving and gentle pet, quickly becoming a cherished member of the Morrison family. However, as time went on, they began to notice something was amiss. Chimera would often growl and snarl at shadows, seemingly fixated on things the family couldn't see. Its patches of colorful fur would occasionally emit a faint glow, and its eyes seemed to hold an otherworldly intelligence. As the weeks passed, strange occurrences began to plague the Morrison household. Objects would inexplicably move or vanish, and the family would hear eerie, unidentifiable noises during the night. They couldn't shake the feeling that something dark was growing within their home. Lila, a curious and resourceful girl, decided to investigate the mysterious events. She snuck into her father's study and researched the closed-down research facility where Chimera had been found. What she discovered was horrifying. The facility had been conducting illegal genetic experiments, attempting to create hybrid creatures by combining the DNA of various species and supernatural entities. Lila realized that Chimera was not an ordinary pet, but a dangerous mutation resulting from the facility's sinister experiments. The dark force lurking within Chimera grew stronger, feeding off the fear and tension that gripped the Morrison family. One fateful night, as the family huddled together in their living room, Chimera underwent a terrifying transformation. Its body contorted and expanded, its fur shifting through a kaleidoscope of colors, and its eyes burning with an unnatural light. As the mutated creature stood before them, the family realized they were in grave danger. The once gentle and loving pet had become a monstrous embodiment of the darkness that had been unleashed upon their home. Realizing they had no choice but to confront the abomination that Chimera had become, the Morrisons banded together to fight back. They reached out to Dr. Elaine Carter, a brilliant geneticist who had been discredited for exposing the illegal activities at the research facility. Dr. Carter, seeking redemption for her role in Chimera's creation, agreed to help the Morrisons. She devised a plan to create a serum that would neutralize the supernatural elements in Chimera's DNA, allowing them to subdue the creature and reverse its mutation. The family, armed with the serum, faced the monstrous Chimera in a tense and harrowing confrontation. They dodged its ferocious attacks, working together to outmaneuver the beast. In a final desperate attempt, Lila managed to inject the serum into Chimera, just as the creature lunged at her. As the serum coursed through Chimera's veins, the darkness within it began to recede. The monstrous form it had taken started to shrink, the vibrant colors fading from its fur, and the unnatural light in its eyes dimming. The once fearsome creature collapsed to the ground, trembling and weak. The Morrison family cautiously approached the now subdued Chimera, relief washing over them as they realized the serum had worked. Dr. Carter, who had been watching from a safe distance, joined the family, her eyes filled with a mixture of regret and hope. Over the following weeks, Chimera gradually returned to its original gentle form. The darkness that had consumed it now vanished.
The Morrisons, thankful for their second chance, welcomed Chimera back into their lives, grateful for the opportunity to make amends for their unwitting role in its suffering. Dr. Carter, inspired by the courage and resilience of the Morrison family, dedicated herself to exposing and dismantling the remaining remnants of the research facility's illegal activities. Her efforts led to a nationwide crackdown on unethical genetic experimentation, ensuring that no other families would suffer as the Morrisons had.